Hello, welcome to another edition of Bitman TV, reviewing Raw and Smackdown week commencing. It's the 6th of March. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So it starts with Jay and Jimmy Uso pulling up to the Raw Arena, with Paul H turning up and basically saying to Jimmy, you know what you need to do. You've got Sami Zayn tonight, and Solo, you got KO. Let's get it done, and your tribal chief will be watching, and he wants to make sure Jay is returned back to the bloodline by the end of the week. So then we go into KO versus Solo. Really good match, but it's not a good match if it ends in DQ. They ended in DQ due to Jimmy jumping in and attacking KO, and then obviously Sami comes down for the save, and he tries to extend the olive branch to KO, but KO shrugs him off. So let's see what happens there. Then we had Bobby Lashley in the back calling out Bray Wyatt. Where are you, Bray? He's looking for you, Bray. So let's see what happens there. Then we had a Carmella in the back, says she's ready to face Bianca, but also she wants to be added to the main event in WrestleMania when Bianca Belair faces Asuka. And then who pulled up? Chelsea Green pulled up, said she wants to be added to the main event, and they want to talk to Adam Pearce's bosses. So let's see what happens there. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Carmella in a really good match, but in the end, come on now, no one's beating the female John Cena, Bianca Belair. But as Bianca Belair was getting a beatdown from Chelsea Green and Carmella, Asuka turns up and she spit this blue mist, paint, whatever it is, in Carmella's face. And yeah, there was a little WrestleMania standoff between Asuka and Bianca. Then we had KO and Sami Zayn in the back talking. KO basically says, listen, why don't you go back to the tribal chief? I don't want your help. I don't have nothing to do with you. Just go back to Roman. So KO seems a bit salty for what's been happening in the past, so we'll see what happens there. Then we had The Miz in the ring. Obviously, he's going to be the host of WrestleMania 39, and also he's today on Raw, but not today on Raw, but on Raw. He was the moderator between Seth freaking Rollins and Logan Paul. The crowd was going crazy for Seth singing his chant and his music, literally doing it all night. Logan came out. Logan was saying to the crowd, shut up, because this segment has a limited amount of time, which was quite funny, I thought. Then basically, them two just talking about fighting. You know how it goes back and forth. And then they got into a bit of a scuffle, and then Seth Rollins gets KO'd by Logan Paul. Ouch. So there's definitely going to be a match at WrestleMania. Then we had a squash match with Omos versus Ziggler. Squash. Then MVP calls out Brock Lesnar after the match, so we'll see what happens there. But Brock Lesnar's already accepted the match. Then we had MMM still admiring Otis and sort of bypassed Corbin, who was talking to him as well. As I said, it's like a Mandy Rose Otis type storyline, it seems like. Then we had Paul Heyman basically saying the tribal chief is not going to blame Solo, he's not going to blame Jay, he's going to blame Jimmy if he doesn't get Jay back in the bloodline by the end of the week. So we'll see what happens there. Then we had Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor in a decent match, but Johnny won due to a distraction from Edge because Edge's music started playing. Then we had a flashback from Roman Reigns having a one-to-one confrontation with Cody Rhodes, where he said in Dusty, I can't do Dusty, I'll try and do a Dusty Rhodes voice. You have it, baby, or something like that. Yeah, I didn't pull it off. Sorry, I won't do that again. Then we had the Edge in the back says he cost, because obviously he cost Finn his match, saying he cost Finn his match because Finn cost Edge his match. So he's going to be in Raw next week, so him and Finn can face to face and settle it. Then we had Nikki versus Piper in a really good match, but Piper won and Nikki lost. Then we had Rick Boosh, whatever his name is, and tongue-tied there. Eliza, I forgot his name. I forgot to pronounce his name. Sorry, I had much sleep. Sorry. Anyway, they were talking back and forth. The guitar guy, walk with Elias. That's it, Elias. I've got it now. Back on track. I'm back on track now. So they were talking about having a match and how Rick Boosh needs to be more aggressive. So he said to tell Bronson Reed that he wants to fight him. So he did, but instead he didn't do it for him. He did it for the Elias. So we'll see what happens with Elias. Then the face that runs the place, Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, John Cena came out. Obviously, crowd is going crazy. So before we can say anything, Austin Theory's out there. They're having a classic back and forth. Austin Theory's basically calling him out for the patch of the back of his head because he's getting old. And then Cena's basically saying, you're a theory. You're what they're trying to make you to be, but you're not that. You have no soul and nobody cares. It was actually pretty good back and forth stuff going there. And Cena struck with a zinger. He said basically the WWE will be putting in fake crowd names when he wrestles, fake crowd sounds when he wrestles, because no one cares about his match. If that is true, geez, he's knocking out the fourth wall there. Anyway, and then after that they had a back and forth, and Cena accepts Theory's match at WrestleMania, which will happen. John Cena introduced Cody Rhodes. Then we had Sami Zayn saying also there's no way no one's going to take him out. He's not going to be taken out by the bloodline. He's taking the bloodline down. So we'll see. Then we had Corbin versus Gable in a really good match where Gable won via extended ankle lock. Then we had The Miz and Maurice doing a Top Gun spin-off for WrestleMania Goes to Hollywood. It's quite good. Make sure you go and look at it. Then we had Lita, Becky talking and bring out Trish, saying they're all about making history and they want to make more history. Obviously the Damage Control came out with Bayley, and they're going back and forth, so obviously it's building for the match at WrestleMania. Then in the main event of the evening, it's Jimmy Uso versus Sami Zayn. A really good match, but Sami Zayn wins by a roll up, and then Jay basically turns up, and then there's a little feeling out process. I thought Jay was on Sami's side, but from nowhere I knew this was going to happen. Jay turns and double crosses Sami and kicks him in the head, and he gets a beat down, and then Cody Rhodes comes out for the save. Wow, wow, wow. Then we go on to Smackdown. Smackdown shows the flashback of Jay turning on Sami Zayn. Then Jay and Jimmy turn up, greeted by Paul Heyman, and Jay's basically saying he wants to talk to the Tribal Chief, but I don't think the Tribal Chief was there. Then into our first match, which is a 5-way. Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Karrion Kross, Xavier and Sheamus all have a 5-way match to decide who's going to face Gunther at WrestleMania for the IC Championship. It ended in a double pin. So Sheamus and Drew got a pin at the same time. So they're working out what's going to happen now. And then Paul Hayes was in the back having an interview saying he thinks Cody Rhodes is getting involved in bloodline business, but this is not business, this is family business, and he needs to stay out, apparently. Then we had Drew and Sheamus arguing over after that because they both got a pin, so we'll see what happens there. Then the first Hall of Fame inductee is Rey Mysterio, so congratulations, Rey. So Rey then comes out, he speaks to Dom, obviously him and Dom are going back and forth, and then Santos comes out and goes, hey, he's gonna beat some sense into you. So then it was a Judgment Day versus Phantasma in a really good match, but in the end, Dom got the win. And then he had a back and forth with Rey Mysterio. Then he also said he should have been Eddie's son. Ouch. Then we had Braun and Ricochet versus Viking Raiders in a really good match, which the Viking Raiders won. Then we had Gunther calling out Adam Pearce for not getting him a match and a worthy opponent. So Adam Pearce said it's going to be Drew versus Sheamus for a number 1 contendership match. Then we had Charlotte versus Shotzi in a really good match. Obviously, no one ain't beating Charlotte right now. She's on the road to WrestleMania, so bow down to the Queen. Obviously, Charlotte won. And then Rhea Ripley came out and said basically she's going to take her title at WrestleMania. So we will see. Then we had Jay and Jimmy come out to ask the fans in the main segment. The main event segment, asking the fans, Jay was like, what would you do if you're in my position? I'm here for my family. If my family needs help, I'll go help my family. If my family's starving, who's going to feed him? If my family need help, who's going to help him? Saying he had no choice in what he did because it's family. Then, and he blamed Sami Zayn for everything. And then basically, Cody Rhodes comes out, and then Sami Zayn turns up, and it turns into a big brawl, as it does. But yeah, so that's your review of Raw and SmackDown in about 8 minutes. So like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you very much.